that, let me quickly bring in Pranay back to the conversation to, in fact, discuss further as to what all are we looking at. Pranay, while we're discussing of trade, and I'll come back to the crude oil aspect that has been a major point when we speak about discussions between not just the Russian president and the Indian Prime Minister, but also with regards to the United States playing an important role. But when we speak of this very visit, Pranay, I would say the West is watching closely because President Trump has always been, one can say, very wary or even almost a little jittery with regards to the bonhomie that's shared between India and Russia. And on the other side, it's not just the US on the Western front, but also China on this side that shall be watching this very meet with keen eyes as to what develops further, strengthening the strategic bond that India and Russia already have.
Absolutely. This visit has its own context, and this visit is significant in terms of the global order, in terms of the geopolitical developments, because President Vladimir Putin, when he comes to India, this is example of India-Russia bond as well. But this visit is coming at a time when all eyes are on President Vladimir Putin. That how he is trying to give out the message. And as I was telling you, that this is a statement by India and Russia both, because Russia want to give out a message that he has options and he has friends at a time when the West was actually asking for his isolation. Many things have changed in last 3 months, especially after his meeting in Tianjin, and maybe in last 4-5 months post his Alaska meeting. President Donald Trump is sending his special envoy and his son-in-law Jared Kushner to Moscow to have meeting with President Vladimir Putin, and you will get to hear, the world will get to hear what he thinks about President Donald Trump in our exclusive interview as well. But as far as the keenness with which the West would be watching this visit was actually one can make out by the editorial, the joint editorial written by the French, British, and the German ambassador jointly in a newspaper in India, and that was also responded by the Russian ambassador in India. So clearly, how West is looking at what they expect and how do they think. So definitely, many world capitals would be watching this visit of President Vladimir Putin to India, but definitely a very sizable and a significant agenda will be on table for. Between India and Russia, as far as this summit is concerned, many significant developments and many significant MOUs will be signed, including the areas of common people connect. Labor and migration mobility agreement is a very significant thing, because with this agreement and with the provision of this agreement, the Indian talent will get more access to the Russian market. Besides that, India and Russia are trying to expand their bilateral trade. Beyond energy, we have set the target of $100 billion by 2030. So both countries want to achieve that target, and we are buying oil from Russia, but what Russia can buy from India. So President Vladimir Putin also had a meeting with the Russian importers, recently, and there he said that we want to expand our ties with India. So please explore which are the areas, which are the products you can buy from India, and we want greater collaboration between India market and Russian market. And our UPI card and UPI payment system will get integrated and will connect with the Mir payment cards of Russia.
Right, Pranay. Pranay, now I will ask you this. I know you have watched the entire interview that's happened of President Vladimir Putin. Now, without giving away too much to our viewers, but just a bit of a teaser maybe of what you found extremely interesting from that interview in terms of the perspective that's been put forward by the Russian president for the first time on an Indian TV network. Just to give our viewers a little bit of a sneak peek into that very interview, which we will be airing here at 9 p.m. viewers. So yes, definitely stay tuned for that. But Pranay, yes, I would want your views on that.
So viewers will get to hear from President Vladimir Putin about his views, regarding President Donald Trump, his Steve Witkoff, what he discussed with Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner when they met him, because that is very important as far as the Ukraine peace plan is concerned. What is his idea about giving security guarantee? How he acknowledged that what how Ukraine should ensure its security. What are his red lines as far as the NATO is concerned? People will get to hear that what he thinks about the groupings like G8, BRICS, SCO, the global order. What he thinks about Prime Minister Narendra Modi. How what kind of conversation he had, and people will get to hear from him that what exactly he discussed when they drove both Prime Minister Modi and President Vladimir Putin in Tianjin, because that picture came. But you will directly get to hear from President Vladimir Putin that how did that idea come up? That he waited for Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Tianjin, and then they drove off in car, and they actually had a long conversation, over an hour conversation in the car. And what did they discuss? How that idea came up? So all those things you will get to hear from President Vladimir Putin when he spoke. In this exclusive interview, and besides that, about his ideas about the global order, his ideas about the Gen Z, what he thinks about the AI, and how India and Russia can collaborate in AI. So all these things will be there in his interview.
Absolutely, Pranay. Thank you for putting it into perspective for us. And definitely, viewers, yes, let us tell you this for sure, that there's something in there in that 100-minute long chat that we have had with President Vladimir Putin, which will interest all of you. So yes, do tune in at 9 p.m. when we actually speak of this very interview that has taken place.